Hey, hey, Aquarius, welcome, welcome. Woo! Let me tell you, today is the 12th, and we are doing your reading for the 12th through the 18th. I love this. We're on the current energies right on the day. I love it, love it. I wish I could do this all the time. Thank you for allowing me to take a break and go on vacation. For those of you that have been with me for a while, thank you very much for that. I'm glad to be back. I will say I apologize. I did say I was going to do a reading from either Universal Studios or Disney World. I forgot my deck of cards, guys. I did. I forgot my cards. And it wasn't until about the third day before we were about ready to leave. Disney World had my daughter pointed out, hey, Mom, there's like a psychic reader over there. And I'm like, say what? Disney did not do that before. They were very much not about anything of tarot and all that kind of stuff. But the booth had like incense and crystals and stuff. And I'm like, I don't think they have a psychic reader. I think it's just the sign kind of a thing. And so I did go and ask because I saw a girl in the corner and I thought, is she doing tarot over there? So when she was done, I asked her if she had some tarot decks to sell. She did. You know, you would think that the Harry Potter, the world wizardry area of Harry Potter would have that kind of stuff. No, not at all. Couldn't find a tarot deck in Universal at all. But I did buy a couple of decks, and then it began to pour. So there wasn't a place I could really do the tarot, other than I was going to say hospital bed, my hotel bed, and I just don't like doing that. I don't like that energy. So I apologize. So let's get started, though. I'm going to give you an announcement here in a second, but I want to get started. You guys are the best today. You know why? Because I saved the best for last. So you guys are going to get the best reading ever. Although I think they were all good today. Because I love it. I love doing the energies for the week on the day that the week starts. Because it's the closest that we can get to those energies. All right. So just remember too, the 12th is probably the ending of that new moon energy. So if you've been sort of feeling emotional, tired, weepy, sensitive, on a little roller coaster emotionally, that's because the new moon. But that should be ending here today or tomorrow at the most. But then we are going into the waxing moon, and the waxing moon is about abundance. It's about bringing things to us. So manifesting and working towards bringing things to us. And then when we get to the full moon towards the new moon, then it's the waning moon, which is you release garbage. So let's see what's got going. All right. So for the new people here, these are oracles. Oracles are sort of like a theme deck. They're not a tarot deck. It's very different. But I'm going to pull three. Most tarot readers will say current, past, or past, present, and future. I say divine, current energies, and future energies because we're looking at divine's perspective, supernatural. We're looking at the source of our energies, source of our, asking our guidance and our questions, getting answers from there. So this is divine, just sort of a card. He picks it, and then this is hopefully for you a message to clarify something. Maybe you're going through a struggle. Maybe you have a question. Maybe there's something that is happening that you definitely need help with. That's why I call it the Divine's card. I don't do past. Past is past. It could tell me a little bit about yourself, but the past is past. So that's where we get our foundation and our core and all that kind of stuff. But that's coaching. That's something you want to get to into coaching, whether it be spiritual coaching or life balance coaching, that kind of a thing. And so I don't go into the past so much. I will if we're coaching, though. Definitely we'll go into it because we got to find out where the tweak happened. And so we got to fix that tweak so that we can straighten it all out again and start moving in the right direction. All right. So let's see what we got here. Interesting. I just did Libras, and Libra for their future energy had the horse, but the Divine's got it for you guys for your first card out. So the horse is, so whatever's going on with you right now, this is about your progress so that you can be rewarded. Okay, so there's something going on. There's a lesson to be learned, or you're teaching a lesson to somebody. There is something going on, and it is about accepting help from others, okay? Or it is delegating authority. So a lot of times when I was in management, teaching management, or being a manager and new assistant managers, they didn't realize that they don't do the job anymore. They delegate to have the job done. So if you're in the restaurant industry, which I was in for years, way back when, you sit there and you get an assistant manager, and then maybe they were a cook prior. No, you don't go cook. You get people to cook, and you teach them and grow them. So delegating authority, knowing what you should be delegating and not doing yourself. If you have kids, this is a really good lesson for you, because some of the parents out there enable their kids, and we need to let them learn. Okay, thank you for that. Divine saying, talk about the kids. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. But not everybody has children. But sometimes if parents, this might be you, and your parents are enabling you, you are going to learn your lessons very late, because they need to let you go and let you learn. Okay, they need to allow you to go free, fall down, get some bumps and bruises, so that you can realize what to do and what not to do, and realize the things that you need to move forward in or stay away from, kind of a thing. All right. So that's also about delegating. That could be like for some of you that are in college. I know some students that go to mom and dad for everything, and they're in college. So this is a stepping stone that you should actually be starting to learn to be in adulthood at this time. So you need to stop asking so much and trying to figure it out on your own. And those parents allow that, and then they fix everything, and then the child or the person is struggling when they're in their 20s and 30s. Okay. So unfortunately, I know some young people that way, and I got to spend time with that family, and it just blew my mind that they saw my daughter put furniture together. They saw my daughter do a lot of things, and they're like, why are you doing that? Because I need to do that. I need to learn how to do that. And their kid couldn't even dust the windows. Anyway, got to not enable. Okay, enabling. Okay, that's the word that he kept saying to me. Okay, so your current energies is communication. Okay, and that again, that was the number 8, so that is about your progress, and when you do things, you'll get rewarded when you hit certain levels and certain marks. You will be rewarded for those. Communication is the number 5 for somebody, which is uncomfortable. So they have uncomfortable because they're maybe not clear in their communication. They're not quite understanding how to communicate properly or effectively. I have a video. If you just go in under my page and type in effective communication, great video. I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm a communication. I definitely teach communication coaching, definitely. So I hope that would help you if you're having communication problems. Here's why I say that. Because if you're communicating, if you're in a relationship, or whether you work or whatever, there should be no fighting whatsoever. No raising your voices. You might raise your voice a little bit, but you'll recognize it and say, why am I raising my voice? I don't need to be doing this. Okay, so that's another thing. So, but it's going to feel uncomfortable for somebody. This is current energy for this week, 12th through the 18th. It's going to feel uncomfortable for somebody because they're not used to it. They're not used to it. So I don't know what it is that you might be having trouble, or somebody around you having trouble with communicating, but it needs to be brought up to a different level. Okay. Your future energy is letting go. That's a tough one. Letting go is either a double 4 or it's the 8. Okay. So letting go, I'm going to say it's the 8 because this is a progress. This is a stepping stone progress to let go. Some people can let go like that. I know, like in relationships, okay, you don't want to date me anymore. Okay, bye. And then they never call them, never talk to them or whatever. Where other people would say, what do you mean you don't want to, what do you mean you don't want to date anymore? What do you mean? And then they'll call them and say, hey, you want to talk about it? Hey, and they have a hard time letting go. Okay. So again, this is the number 8. You've got 2 number 8s, which is interesting. Well, it's not really that interesting to me, but The Divine's card is number 8, and the future card, which is the universe, which is divine anyway, is the number 8. So we got some progress. We got some lessons to learn. We got some lessons to let go here for this week. Okay. And then we also have to find out if we are actually enabling any situations. And if you're not sure how to do something, that's where Divine is saying, ask for help. If you don't know how to do something, or if you don't know what's working, whether you go to a counselor, a psychologist, psychiatrist, or a life coach like myself, or anybody that's a life coach, definitely you've got to go find out. And they might have resources that you don't know about. Okay? They might have resources that you don't know about and just send you to the resources and let you loose. Or you might need to just have a couple of sessions. All right. There's life coaches all over. There's information on YouTube all over. You just got to be careful who you're listening to. All right. So your first card out is the Queen of Wands. Okay. Queen of Wands. She's pretty independent. This is a person that doesn't like to ask for help. Is that you? And this is where she's going to have strength in changing herself, in transforming herself, because you can't do it on your own all the time, all your life. Just doesn't happen. Just doesn't happen. Yeah. You're so funny. Okay, so definitely ask for help. Okay. It's very independent, and you do like to go around. This is a person also that likes to fake it. Fake it until you make it. You act like everything's okay when it's really not. I don't know who that is. But it's going to take a lot of strength from you to change. You need the courage to transform. And I don't mean change in a bad way. Just look at yourself and say, you know, where are my weaknesses? Thank you. Where are my weaknesses, and how can I grow those into strengths? Okay. And that's all you're doing is this is sort of you're evolving to the next level. Okay. You're evolving to the next level. And this is the thing, is that you're nurturing yourself to do that. You're loving yourself in order to do that. And then you're saying, I really do need help in understanding this, or how to do this, or if it's a company, I know how do I start it. When I was an entrepreneur, I was like, oh man, I was asking everybody everywhere, because it was like I was so new. I was making poor decisions, like hiring too many employees, and then I'm like, okay, I got a lot of work, but I need the employees, but there wasn't enough work for that many employees, so I had to cut an employee, you know, just a lot. So be really, really kind to yourself during this time. Okay. You have the Queen of Swords in the center of your reading. Okay. And the Queen of Swords is all about getting to the truth. So you have to be really honest with yourself when you're communicating with yourself, you're talking to yourself. You've got to be honest with yourself. It's not going to help anyone if you aren't. It's not going to help yourself if you aren't. You can't fake it with the Divine. Divine sees anything and sees all. And how can he help you if you're lying to yourself and you're lying to everybody else? How can he help you? You got to have honest, absolute truth, confirmation, and also communication. Absolute means you are talking from the raw. You are getting down to that nitty gritty, deep down and dirty, and talking to the raw. It's sort of like, for example, these women that say, oh, I'm content, I'm fine, I don't need to be married, when inside their head they're saying, yeah, I would really like to have a husband. Lie! That's what I'm talking about. You got to say, yeah, you know what, I'm content, but I would really love to find a husband. How hard is that? Divine knows it. Divine knows it. Can't fool Divine. Okay, you just can't. But we are talking about getting to the truth. And also, too, not going to the past. So somebody keeps going to the past. So these two are looking at each other, and she's like, you know what? You can't keep going to the past if you're going to move forward. So you keep looking in that small window in the back of the car and try and drive your car backwards, when you really need to be looking through that big window in the front and driving forward. Okay. So if somebody's looking into the past too much, you're very strong about doing that. You got to let go of that. Boop, boop. Got to let go of the past. Somebody is comparing the past. Somebody is stuck in the past. Somebody keeps talking about the past. The past is gone. And even if the past came back, it's not going to be the same. It's like having a relationship with somebody you broke up for years, and you're just really thinking about them, and you really want them back, you want all that kind of stuff. And say 3-5 years later, they come back, and you're like, oh yeah, you're romanticizing about what was, but not what is. Because that person, if that person is maturing, they're not the same person that they were back then. And you don't want them to be. You want them to be maturing. Okay. Definitely a give and take. So definitely give and take. This is a communication thing with you guys this week. This may be work, communicating at work. It may be communicating over a project if you're in college or school. Definitely it might be that. But this is definitely about communication. And the thing about communication is you got to stop for a second and listen to their perspective first. So when you're communicating, you have to sit quietly and listen, because you already know your perspective about what you think. Okay. So whether you agree with them or you disagree with them, whether you need their advice, whatever it is, you have to listen to their story. You have to listen to why they think that way. Because even if you two were the parallel in your journey in life, you still have two different brains, you have two different hearts, and you still have two different experiences. So you have to listen to the other person's perspective first. When I was talking about you don't have to fight anymore, you don't have to yell, you don't even have to raise your voices anymore, that is when you take a time to listen to the other person's perspective first, and then make a conclusion on how you want to act on that. Okay. Here's your challenge card, guys. Your challenge card is the Three of Pentacles. So the challenge card is about learning. Now, this is more work-wise, so maybe this is something that's going on at work, that you're learning something new. You're also learning how to communicate differently. Maybe you need to ask for help when oh, I know how to do that, when you really don't. Ask for help. Oh, I'm sorry, I've never done this before. I need to get a little bit more work. I need to help a little bit. You have to let go of the ego and the pride. Because in this learning lesson, your challenge is that you are stubborn, or you have an ego where you are not asking for help. Pride is getting in the way. And so this is your challenge card, because you need to let that go so you can ask, so you can grow in learning. You don't grow through pride. You don't grow through ego. You don't grow by thinking that you know it all. You don't grow in saying you know it all when you don't. But growing is when you can say, I don't know. This happened at the doctor today, and this happened at, I think it was Weimar today. The gentleman, I was asking about some camping equipment, and I obviously could tell he didn't know, and he's thinking really hard. And I said, if you don't know, it's okay. Just let me know. And he goes, honestly, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, that's not a problem. I can Google it. I can, YouTube it. Not a big deal. And it was like a relief came over him. That's okay to say you don't know. Okay. But to act, and that's where these two guys come in, is that you don't know. And and this is truth. This is absolute truth, saying, you know what? I am going to lower myself enough to say, I don't know, so that I can grow. And that lets go of ego and pride. That's your future card, ego and pride. So letting go of that as well. Letting go of your past, letting go of your ego, your pride and ego. All right, let's see what else we've got here. Oh boy. But definitely some courage and strength is going to definitely grow here. And this is going to change a lot in your life, because you're going to become more confident in yourself. This is, I think, a young person. Definitely a younger person. All right. And I say younger, but it doesn't have to be. We got a lot of feminines, but it doesn't have to be. You know, feminine energy here. Yeah, this definitely is about communication because we have the Ten of Pentacles. That is the ultimate card. This is what you're supposed to have. This is about money, having enough money, unconditional love. This is about having peace of mind. This is having clarity. This is having financial stability, that kind of a thing. However, we have the Seven of Wands holding you back. So this is a person that wants to stand up, that has too much. You know, they want to stand up for their rights. They want to stand up for their standards and their boundaries and things like that, but they're almost too much in their head. They're too much in their pride. They're too much. We want to stand up for it, but we do not want to stand up for it too much, because then what happens is we fall on our face, or things don't happen the way that we want to. Then fear sets in, or anger sets in, and then we're back to square one trying to figure things out. So this is a good thing, but it is, you know, you want to stand up for yourself. You want to stand up for you believe in. But the thing is, and this could be work, because we got several pentacles here. But if you stand up too much, if you're too strong, it's sort of like they'll say, well, you're too intimidating. You know, and if you're too intimidating, or you come off angry all the time, then it doesn't get you anywhere. You have to loosen up just a little bit. You have to be a little bit more compassionate, a little bit more understanding. You have to have the courage to say, you know what, I need to humble myself. Thank you. Humble myself a little bit, or this person, whoever this is, needs to humble themselves. Because when you humble yourselves, then you can communicate a lot better. And you'll realize just how much you don't know and how much you do know. And then how you can share this, because life is not to end with you. It's actually yours to go through you, to help others, to keep moving with others, to delegate authority, to make sure that you're on that right path. All right. All right. Let me see if there is anything else Divine has to say. And then we'll go to love and relationships, because I don't see really, this is a lot of self-work, but it is also maybe potential for your job, maybe room for growth, for maybe you want to go into management. Maybe they're talking about putting you into a lead, but you know, man, we want to put you into a lead position, but you know, you just come off a little too strong. We need you to be a little bit soft, you know. Yeah, Ace of Cups, there is an offering. This is something that you really want, definitely. Something that you really, really want. Ace of Swords. Offerings there, you got to walk in truth. Walk in absolute truth, not human truth, absolute truth. And that is when you get that gut instinct, you know, to say something that you shouldn't, or say something that's not of absolute truth, which is divine truth, consistent truth, not earthly, where you're like, oh yeah, I'll just tell them what they want to hear. You know, I know how to do it, but you know what? I don't know how to do it that well. And they want to know, can you do it proficiently? And you're like, yeah, but in your mind, you're not. You're telling the truth. You know how to do it. However, they asked you proficiently, and you're like, yeah, but you don't. So you got to be walking in absolute truth. Yes, I know how to use the machine, but I proficiently don't know how to use the machine. Absolute truth. Okay, that's going to get you 10 times further. When you walk in absolute truth, you will have freedom. I wish we had the Sun card here. Complete freedom. All right. And it is awesome. But this definitely is your challenge card. This is a time for learning. Don't be stubborn, and don't put your pride and ego in the way. That is your challenge card, to release that. Humble yourself so that you can learn. All right. Okay, so let's see what we've got for love. And I don't see any questions. I don't see anybody on. So if you have questions, you're always welcome to ask. And don't forget to watch that decision and choices video. I appreciate it if you did and gave me feedback or comments. I would appreciate that. Definitely, definitely. And if you haven't liked at this point in time, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll be notified when I'm on all the time because I am weekly live. All right. So, love and relationships, the sacred union, partnership and romance, and the number 9. So, something is happening between two people, definitely. It is a deeper bonding with this couple. Definitely going the full length. Okay, so I think this couple for this future energy is definitely letting go of their past and their whatever's been going on in their past. They're looking forward. Their communication is on point. Definitely moving forward. This is an in love, and the thing is that this is divine intervention. This is a divine intervened relationship. Okay. And the reason why that happens is because they were brought together. They weren't seeking each other out. I don't know who this is. They weren't seeking each other out. They were probably pretty content with their lives. But this is how they were brought together. One wasn't looking and it's like, oh, I like him. And, like being on these dating sites and stuff like that. It's somebody brought that union together somehow. And it could have been online. However, this was the timing. The timing. And it might have been a couple that you knew each other before, but definitely is divine intervention. So we are in the waxing moon. This is the waxing moon, which is great. And the energy is gaining momentum. So this is a good relationship. It's a divine intervention. It is moving in the right process. It is the number 9. It is something that is very intense, and it looks like it will probably go the full run, maybe into marriage. I don't believe in living together anymore. I just don't, because too many things can happen. And legally, you don't get anything from living together anyway. There's just no benefit other than getting the cookie. That's the benefit and whatever. Anyway, that's just my opinion. People live together. That's their life. That's their choice. However, this is definitely a committed union that will last till the end of their days. This is beautiful. Very, very beautiful. All right. All right, you guys, that is your reading. Holy Toledo. Holy Toledo. The biggest thing I'm getting from this definitely is learning how to communicate more effectively. Again, there is a video out there. Just if you're on my channel, go ahead and just type in effective communication and you can see that video. But there's also other communication. Even John Gray with Mars and Venus, he's phenomenal at communication and understanding the opposite sex, as far as male, female, straight relationships. But if it doesn't have to be, if you have more masculine thinking and more feminine thinking, that kind of thing. But communication is huge. And you do need to let go of this past, whatever this is. Got to let go. Got to let go of the past and be honest and be walking in absolute truth. Those are the things that are going to bring you success, especially in your work. There is definitely something coming for somebody in your work. And this is something that you're going to enjoy and you're going to love to do it. You love to do it. Other people will admire you for it because you're actually walking in absolute truth, showing high integrity, high character, and they're going to want to learn from you. So this is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, smash those buttons, and I will see you on the 19th. Don't forget to walk in absolute truth and love. Take care.